my name is Beck and welcome to another video where I react to things that I've said in the past. So for this one I made a video at the start of the year and I said these are the series that I would love to finish, but I don't know how I've actually gone with that, so I thought why not check in now because over half of the year has gone, which is just a scary thought in general. But I thought why not check in because I've decided to DNF a lot of things lately, and so I wondered if there are actually series on here that I'm interested in continuing that I haven't DNF'd, and I'd really like to know the answer. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to a video where I want to talk about the book series that I either want to continue or finish in 2021. The first one I don't actually own, so it really slipped off my radar, and that is The Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. Yeah, I definitely haven't continued that, and it has once again slipped off my radar. I don't think I will be continuing that, to be honest, unless I randomly just remember it in the future and I don't have a lot on my plate. But because I've been in my reading slump this year, I haven't really focused on books that I haven't physically owned, so that is why I've not really continued. I have enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4 stars, I think, and I want to continue eventually, but it's not a series that I see myself continuing this year. So bump to the first book on here already, but I kind of expected that kind of vibe, so what can you do? The next one on this list is Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski, which is the next book in the Witcher series that I'm reading. It is the next book in the series that I'm supposedly reading, but again, I haven't continued that one either. It's right behind me, actually. I'm hiding it from the camera. I'm hiding my shame. I do like The Witcher and I love the show, but I haven't continued the book. Maybe I should check out when the next season is going to drop and try and read it before that, because when I read the first 2 in the series, I found that that really covered a lot of the first season, and so if I read the first book in the series before the second season, maybe that will give me more insight into what is actually happening over the course of the show, which I would really appreciate because the first season confused me a lot, but it made sense in the end, so I think I might do that. The next one is Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan, and this one I'm a little bit iffy on. Yeah, still iffy on that one. I think in a recent video I decided to DNF them. I'm not quite sure because I know this is a very short graphic novel series, and so it's doable if I decide to push through and finish it, but I don't know if I actually said that I'm DNFing it or not. I can't honestly remember, but I think that's the vibe I'm going to go with. I don't really want to continue it at this stage, and I haven't been giving the volumes more than a 3 stars, which makes me think, is it worth it? Because I want to give 4 or 5 star ratings to things, and that's why I thought I would park the series. So honestly, I probably thought that initially, and that's why I said in my initial video I feel a bit iffy about them, so I might just call it now and say I'm not going to continue them. So this is really a video of look at my new DNFs. The next one is a book series that's in a genre that I don't generally pick up, and that is historical fiction. I only like this because it is sci-fi historical fiction. It is the Lady Astronaut series by Mary Robinette Kowal. Shame on me because this is a great series and I just have completely forgotten about it. Actually, no, that's not right. I have the next 2 in the series on my wishlist on Audible, but I've not been listening to audiobooks that much this year, so I haven't really continued this, but shame on me. This is the only one that I genuinely feel shame for because I think Mary Robinette Kowal is awesome and I really loved the first book, so why haven't I continued yet? Why haven't I continued? I don't know if I'm going to actually finish the series, but ideally I will continue it this year, because if it's on audiobook, theoretically it should be easy to slot in between other stuff. So hopefully I could do that, but I don't like my chances given that I've been listening to audiobooks a lot less lately, and I'm also reading the Dresden Files at the moment, and that's a series that I've committed to and it's almost at the end. I'm almost up to date with it, so I don't know if I'm going to drop a series that is going that hard in order to start the second book in a series. I'm not sure yet. It really depends on my mood because I'm reading a lot for mood this year. Next is a manga that I haven't really talked about very much, and that is because I forgot that I owned the whole set and I'd started reading it years ago and then I forgot to finish it. And that is Ouran High School Host Club. Yeah, I still have that, and I've actually unhauled a ton of books lately, and so I'm going to be reading the things that I can now see on my shelf because I cleared out a lot of shelf space, and I said in my initial video that I forgot that I had it, and it's true. It was on a shelf out of sight and I just could not see it, so I didn't remember it. And so now that I've cleared out like 40 more books, I can actually see what is on my bookshelves, and hopefully that means that I will get into reading it again. I've just got to figure out what volume I put it down on because I've seen the anime as well, and the anime didn't follow the manga as closely as it should have. So I feel like I'm mixing things up in my head. I'm mixing the storylines of the manga and the anime, and I need to figure out where I left off in the manga so that I can pick up again at the right spot, because I don't want to go back and reread stuff because I know what has happened and I'll remember it immediately. So I don't want to do that. I want to read from a place that I don't know anything at all. So I guess that's another mission for me in the future. And they're all quite short volumes, and there's only 18 left, and I'm more than halfway through the series. So realistically, it shouldn't be too hard for me to get through, and it will buffer my reading challenge a little bit too. So that is a benefit of going through and figuring out where I need to go from. Now, this next one is very long. Each of these books are almost 1,000 pages long, and it's The Passage by Justin Cronin. I finished this book last year, and I said that I wanted to continue, and I do. Yeah, I don't want to continue anymore. I've gotten rid of The Passage. I've said in a recent DNF video I'm not continuing the series. I think I would like it if I had no other things that I had going on, like I wasn't reading anything else that was long, but I've just got so much other stuff that I'm interested in reading, and The Passage, the first book, I think I gave it a 3 or 3.5, and so I'm not really jazzed to push forward and continue, so that's why I DNF'd. Also, they're very long, and I'd listened to them on audiobook, and my commute to work has changed and stuff, and my times of starting and finishing work have changed, so they don't really fit easily into my routine anymore either, so it's just easier for me to DNF. I didn't love it that much, but I was vaguely interested in it, so I'm kind of just cutting the fat at the moment of things that I'm reading and vaguely interested in, whereas things I think I will push forward and enjoy, I'm prioritizing those more. So I'm being very ruthless on what I keep and what I don't keep, basically, and The Passage unfortunately didn't make the cut. And of course, I just mentioned The Wheel of Time, so that is next on this list. I do have The Great Hunt, and I want to continue that this year as well, hopefully as early as possible. Yeah, my plan to read it early kind of backfired because it's been on every TBR video since January or February, I think, and now that it's past June, I finally finished it. It just took me a very long time, and I gave it a 2.5 stars out of 5. I finished it in a recent vlog if you want to go and see what I thought about it, but I just didn't want to continue, and so it really dragged for me. So although I had massive high hopes for finishing the Wheel of Time series and reading a couple of books every year, or even a book every year, it's not a thing that I really want to continue doing. I think I'm going to DNF the series at this point. I may pick it up in the future, but for now I'm not going to continue. I might, feel a flair for it again down the track and go, you know what, maybe I will continue book 3 and just pick it up and give it a crack. But at the moment I've been scarred by my 6 months of reading the second book, and I really don't want to continue at all. I just want to be free for a while. So books shouldn't be work, they should be enjoyable, and the second book in The Wheel of Time was a lot of work for me, so I don't think I'm going to continue at the moment. I'm glad I finished The Great Hunt though, because now I can actually say that I finished it. But yeah, I don't want to continue right now. And then of course, last on this list is an old favorite of mine, and it is The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. And I read 10 books of this last year, and I want to continue obviously into this year because this series is by no means done. It's definitely by no means done, and I'm getting closer and closer to the end. This is one that I also don't see as a failure because I've been continuing the series in my own time as well. And I read the most recent books, which is Turncoat and Changes and Ghost Story. And now I'm reading Side Jobs, which is a bunch of short stories that take place all across the series. So I've kept up really. And despite the fact that I don't really listen to audiobooks very much, I make time to listen to Dresden when I can. I kind of fall off the bandwagon and then get back on, but that's me, that's not the story. I love the story. So I have continued the Dresden Files and I really loved it. And one of the Dresden Files books, Changes, is probably my favorite book of this entire year. So I feel like that is a very successful note to end this video on. So do let me know if there are any books that you have fallen off the bandwagon for, in that you've thought that you would start them this year and continue them, and then you realized, actually, I'm not really in the mood for this, or I really don't like this actually, and you've decided to DNF a series. I would love to know, because I've apparently DNF'd quite a lot of things this year, but it's felt really good to kind of shed them and find things that I think I will love. So it's a nice changing process. I really enjoy it. But again, thank you so much for watching this video. Come chat to me down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.